Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to my garage, where today we are going to be talking about the ever popular S2000 steering wheel swap into the Honda Prelude, the 5th gen in this case. As you can see, I've already done it. And if you're like me, you just sent it and just threw that AP1 steering wheel in there. So now every time I drive, the turn signals don't cancel, which I can just cancel them by hand, but that's annoying. So if you don't have an AP1 steering wheel and you want to see how to install it, we're going to cover that. If you've done it and your turn signals don't cancel, then this is going to kind of show you how to address that too. So the first thing you're going to want to do is disconnect that negative. Alright, so this is my AP1 S2000 wheel. We got some other stuff kind of under construction right here, but don't worry about that. We'll cover that in a future video. So you just pop these plastic panels off, undo this connector. This one just kind of like slides back like that, and then it releases. So there's a torque screw right there, and on the other side there's a similar little panel that just gives you access to that torque screw. And those torque screws are a T30, and they should really honestly be the same for almost every Honda of this era. You know, the late 90s all the way through the early 2000s. I actually have a set of 1/2-inch drive Torx drivers, and these torque screws can be, especially if this is your first time taking the airbag apart, they can be extremely tight. So I'm going with 1/2-inch drive and a little bit of braking force here. Okay, so once those torque screws are out, this is gonna fish its way out of here. If you're doing this for the first time, if this is your first time breaking this bolt loose, you are going to need a breaker bar, and oh, that should do it. A 14mm socket. Once you kind of got it broken loose, just take my 1/2-inch drive socket. Oh, it's just gonna come right out. And then we just have a little bit of this wiring to get out of our way. This is the ground wire right here. You just push on it and pull it back, comes off. These 3 wires are going to go through this hole when we pull the steering wheel off. This one's gonna stay with the steering wheel. That's for the cruise control. Now, you might have noticed that I did do a dirty delete of my cruise control. So basically, I know there is a way to make this connector made up with this. This is part of the car. This is part of the steering wheel. You could cut these wires right here and then simply splice in the connector from the Prelude steering wheel. But since I already removed power steering completely from my car, I am not going to worry about that. Okay, so before you go ripping the steering wheel off here, you're going to take the bolt and you're going to thread it back in part of the way. Just so when you get this thing knocked loose, you're not ripping it off and hitting yourself in the face with it. So you're just going to kind of pull on it for a while until finally it's gonna see, and it hit that bolt and not us in the face. So you hand thread that bolt on out. Those wires come right on out of there. And yeah. So here we have the S2000 wheel that I just took out of my car. And the old Prelude wheel that was in my car. As you can see, there's some differences. So basically, using some masking tape, I am just gonna make a template of this using the Prelude wheel. So basically I have this masking tape on here, and the concept is pretty simple. I'm just gonna cut out in the masking tape where the notches are, try to get it as exact as I can, and I'm gonna transfer this masking tape over with these two big notches, these two square notches as my reference points, so I'll know that I'm putting this in the right spot. So you can basically see what I've done with the template. Just kind of using an X-Acto knife to kind of cut it exactly the shape that I need it to be. Alright guys, as you can see, I already kind of got it started. I just had to change the disc on my Dremel. I'm just using one of these regular old brown discs. This Dremel set came with like 1,000,000 of them. So yeah, I can go ahead and burn the crap out of these. Okay, so I am pretty far from a master fabricator or whatever, but I don't know if you can see, that's not terrible. That's gonna get the job done. It's gonna actuate, you know, it's gonna tell the turn signal canceller what to do. If we compare it to the other one, I'd say we got it. The only thing to do is to put it on the car and drive it around and test it out and see if it works. Alright, so off camera I did take some sandpaper. I just kind of knocked that down just to get any burrs off of that edge on the inside and on the top and around. So one thing I did before I pulled the steering wheel off, I don't know if you can kind of see, I made a little mark with my Sharpie right here. And there's a corresponding mark on the steering hub itself. Okay, and as you can see, I lined those marks right up, so should be good to go. It should still be aligned. Alright, so now I'm reconnecting the negative on the battery, and yeah, my airbag didn't just go off, so that's a good sign. Alright, so we're just going to take the Lude for a spin around the block and see if those turn signals cancel. Canceled. Okay, so off camera I went ahead and tightened everything up real good. I got all the little side pieces clipped back on. Tighten the hub down real good, and she's good to go. turn signals do self-cancel now. Alright guys, so that's going to be it for today's video. Like I said, I'm not like a super skilled person with a Dremel. My best advice with that is just kind of take your time. Start on the low setting, and you can kind of get an idea of where it's going to start to really make cuts, and what kind of pressure you need to put down to just kind of slowly carve out what you need. So yeah, this is a brand new channel. I just started it yesterday, the 10th. Let me know in the comments if I left anything out of this tutorial, if you have any other tips and tricks, if there's anything that I could do to make that better. Just let me know. Kind of bear with me here. I am brand new to the video editing thing, and yeah, the transitions between the clips are going to be kind of rough for a while. I'm just getting used to DaVinci Resolve. So yeah, let me know if you have any tips and tricks or advice in the comments. Like I said, if I left anything out, like, comment, subscribe. I want to keep doing more tutorials and stuff, and just kind of following the build process of the Prelude. I'll go through all that in another video. Maybe I'll go through the car and just show you guys every mod that it has. Obviously not too in depth, but maybe you want it to be more in depth. Just let me know, I guess. So I guess that's it, guys. Have a good one.